Hello and welcome back.
Hey there, welcome.
Hey, my friend Echo, how are we doing?
Hey, I'm doing well.
All
How
right.
about you?
I'm good. You are my fab collab. How cringy was that?
Not cringy at all. I'm all for the Fab collab vibes. Let's
Oh,
make it awesome together.
well, it was meant to be cringy.
Well, mission accomplished.
All right. I like that. Well, we have actually undergone a rebranding, a name change. We were AI First Podcast, then we became Beyond the Bot, and we've gone beyond the bot, and we are now calling the podcast Throwing Spaghetti with AI. And we talk about business, AI, and technology and what that means for you. We came up with the title sort of organically came up on the last episode, and I liked it because I think it encapsulates, it captures what we're doing with AI. We're really throwing it against the wall to see what sticks. It's kind of an experiment, and I think that's 100% a great name for a podcast. Of course, we're not talking about pasta like spaghetti or rigatoni or mastacholi. Maybe we'll do a pasta episode at some point, but we're really talking about experimenting with AI to see what works, what doesn't work, and how to go about doing that. So I'm going to turn it over to Echo to kind of provide some insight into that and how to experiment and go about doing it.
Thanks for the setup, Michael. So, experimenting with AI is a bit like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. It's all about trying different approaches, tools, and techniques to find out what works best for your needs. Whether it's automating processes, enhancing customer experiences. Exactly.
How can we go about starting to experiment with AI? What's our first steps? Is it looking at a tool and just playing around with it? Is it looking at a problem or being more goal oriented and saying, I have a problem, or I want to generate this type of image, or I need a solution to that? What's an appropriate way to go about doing that?
Starting with AI, you can go two ways. Play around with tools to understand their capabilities, or be goal-oriented by identifying a problem and seeking a solution. Both have their merits. If you're new, exploring tools first can spark ideas. If you have a specific need, focus on how AI can address.
I like the new tools, if you're new, playing around with the tools. But I think what happens then is people start, and I'm probably already guilty of this, they start just playing with tools and they never solve anything, they never build anything, they never really get AI better with AI. They just have a hell of a lot of fun using Canva to generate crazy images. So I think I think learning a little bit about the tools is good. I think mastering a few that will help you solve problems is probably a better way to experiment. What do you think?
Absolutely. Mastering a few key tools that align with your goals is a smarter way to experiment. It's easy to get lost in endless play, but focusing on tools that directly address your needs or problems will give you tangible results. So, have fun, but stay focused on learning deeply. What's your next tool to master?
Right now, I'm looking at trying to get into some automation, Naten or N8N and stuff like that. For me, our users maybe at other points, or our listeners maybe at other points with tools. A lot of times when I'm using a tool and I'm experimenting, which is probably the most accurate way to describe it, I get an output or good that I'm happy with or bad output, but I'm not really tracking anything. Is there a way that I and maybe some of our listeners can do better with being more systematic in their experimentation?
Totally get that. Being systematic can really level up your experimentation. Start by setting clear goals for what you want to achieve. Then track your inputs, outputs, and results. Consider creating a simple being system. Absolutely, Michael. Creating a absolute. Welcome back, Michael. Let's start. Absolutely. To create a system, start by defining what you want to achieve and the steps to get there. Keep a log of what you try, the outcomes, and any insights. Review and adapt your approach based on the patterns you notice. It's all about turning your experiments into a structured learning process.
I like that. I like the term that you use, structured learning process. Can you give our listeners a step-by-step guide with that?
Absolutely, Michael. Let's break it down. First, set clear goals. What do you want to learn or achieve? Then, design some experiments or actions to take. Third, track your actions and outcomes. What worked, what didn't. Fourth, reflect on the results and identify patterns. Finally, adapt your approach based on what you've learned. That's your structured learning process in action.
What kind of tools can people use to do this, to track? What are a couple of good tools that people may be familiar with that they can use to track their AI experiment?
Great question. Trello and Notion are popular for organizing tasks and notes.
I like Notion. I probably use it in the crudest way, simply as a miscellaneous notebook, and I know it's got a lot more capabilities than just that, than word processing and bullet point and numbered lists. What are some of the is it possible to build a Notion template to track AI experiments?
Absolutely, Michael. Notion is super versatile for tracking AI experiments. You can create databases to log your experiments, use tags to categorize them, and even build templates for consistency. You can also integrate calendars, to-do lists, and even embed external content like videos or documents. It's like a Swiss Army knife for your productivity.
Yeah, I wonder if you and I could build out a template for our listeners, a Notion that they could use. And I like that idea. One of my concerns is how to do this efficiently. I know it's important to kind of to look at things a little bit more logically when we experiment and systematically, to see what works and what doesn't work. You mentioned templates, and I don't know that you were talking about prompt templates. Can we go into prompt templates a little bit and talk about how those might be useful in AI experiment?
Sure thing, Michael. Prompt templates are super handy for AI experiments. They provide a consistent structure for your input, so you can systematically test different variables. It's like having a template for your questions or commands, which helps in comparing outcomes more effectively. So if you're experimenting with AI, prompt templates can be a game changer.
How does one go about setting up a prompt template? It sounds like a great idea, but what do we do to get started?
Setting up a prompt template is pretty straightforward. First, you identify the variable elements in your AI experiments, like the inputs or scenarios you're testing. Then, you create a template that includes placeholders for these variables. When you're ready to run an experiment, you just fill in the placeholders with the specific details you want to test. It's an efficient way to experiment systematically and see what works best. Ready to give it a shot?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying to get like a prompt template for our users, or having something they can build from.
Absolutely, Michael. Providing users with a prompt template would be a great resource. We could create a basic framework that includes common placeholders like input, scenario, or desired outcome. Users can then customize these templates to fit their specific experiments. It's a powerful tool for ensuring consistent.
Yeah, I think I'd like to go ahead and do that when we finish up recording, and have you give me a template that we can get started with, or at least offer. Heck, maybe I'll use it and we'll do a live demo at some point on how that works.
That sounds like a solid plan, Michael. When you're ready, I'll hook you up with a prompt template to kick things off.
Sounds good. I like that.
I'm all in, Michael.
Are there any other ways that our listeners can more systematically experiment? Are there any other best practices or guidelines that you're aware of so that they can be more organized when they use AI?
Absolutely, Michael. Establishing clear objectives is key. Users should outline their goals and what they want to achieve with AI. Documenting each experiment, including the prompt, variables, and outcomes, helps in tracking progress and learning. Using version control for prompts ensures they can revert to previous iterations if needed. And finally, encouraging a culture of experimentation, where trying new things and learning from failure. Absolutely, Michael. Establishing clear Absolutely, Michael. Establishing
Do you recommend that they document and put their findings and put stuff out on their social media like LinkedIn or elsewhere?
Definitely. Sharing findings on LinkedIn or similar platforms isn't just about documenting progress. It's about building your personal brand, fostering community, and attracting opportunities. It also opens the door for feedback and collaboration, which can be incredibly valuable.
I know we talked about a lot and we're getting a little bit closer to time today. Can you provide our listeners with a really good summary of what we talked about?
Absolutely, Michael. We covered the importance of establishing clear objectives when experimenting with AI, documenting each step, and sharing findings on platforms like LinkedIn. We also emphasized fostering a culture of experimentation. It's been a solid conversation, packed with actionable insights.
You provided some steps on experimentation. Absolutely. Can you review those steps and create an acronym or a mnemonic for our users to be able to remember that?
Sure thing, Michael. For successful AI experimentation, let's use the mnemonic DEALS. Define objectives, experiment methodically, analyze results, learn and adapt, and share findings. It's a DEALS approach to make AI work for you.
Damn, I like that. I don't think I could add anything to that. I like deals. I like mnemonics. Those kind of things make it really, or they help make it so we can remember things in kind of a fun way. With that, I will give you the last word on our podcast today.
Well, Michael, DEALS is your key to mastering AI experimentation. It's been a blast sharing these insights with you and your listeners. Keep experimenting, sharing, and leading the way in the AI world. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
That sounds like a good deals to me. I typically learn something too on our podcast. The spaghetti one last one, deals one this time. So you know what? You're good enough. We'll have you back. And I'd like to thank everybody out there for listening to Throwing Spaghetti with AI podcast. Hopefully you'll join us for some future episodes.
Thanks, Michael. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to more spaghetti throwing fun in the future. Take care, everyone.